Gautam Adani and Elon Musk are set to become the first two trillionaires of the world, says a report by Informa Connect Academy. Bajaj Housing Finance IPO subscribed fully on the first day. HNI portion leads the demand. Road Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari says 40% of India's pollution is because of the transport sector, calls for cost-effective and pollution-free transport solutions. SpiceJet announces debt restructuring deal with Carlyle Aviation, plans to convert dues worth $40 million into equity. Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu says the government is keeping a close watch on airline fare hikes during the festive season. The Supreme Court directs protesting doctors in West Bengal to resume work by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, says the protest cannot continue at the expense of their duties. The centre advises states and union territories to spread community awareness about Mpox, suggesting screening, testing and contact tracing of all the suspects. Students in Manipur defy the government's decision to shut down educational institutions, seek a meeting with the governor and demand deployment of additional central forces. Good evening and welcome. You're watching Profit 360 on NDTV Profit and I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. First up, as always, we take you through all that's happened on the bourses today. And in fact, Neeraj Shah is joining us for a quick roundup of all that went on in the Lal Street.
Strength in large caps, not so much in small caps, but the strength in large caps is very important because Friday was a bad day for the world markets and today was a bad day for Asia. But Nifty ended about 1/3% in the green. Yes, mid caps and small caps could have done better, particularly the small cap space which sulked in trade. But be that as it may, because of banks, the Nifty 50 ending about 1/3% higher, so strong gains. Sensex in fact 0.5%, so strong gains here. FMCG participated as well, and if you get the heat map up on the screen, you will see a peppering of banks and FMCG names. In fact, FMCG probably even more so, because with HUL, ITC, Britannia and Tata Consumer, 4 out of top 7 names for FMCG names. But there was ICICI Bank, there was IndusInd Bank and Axis Bank, as well as HDFC with a 0.5% gain. Oil upstream has problems, and we know that, and ONGC sulking in trade down 3%. Select IT also corrected a little bit in trade. BSE 500 winners and losers will come up on your screen next. A lot of stocks had some very interesting moves. So Heikel, Alembic Pharma, Jubilant Pharma, Nova Pharma and chemicals seem to be doing the right things. Paytm has some upticks as well. Ether about 5%. Gujarat Alkalis, like I said, there's a chemical dominated day. Gujarat Fluorochem, yet another day of a 5% up move. What didn't do well, the cigarette makers, so VST, Godfrey Phillips corrected a bit. There was weakness in Bharat Dynamics, Engineers India and Home First as well, and a couple of other stocks which did really well. You have to look at the intraday recovery in Ola Electric. Very smart up move there. So that stock stood out at the broader end of the spectrum for the intraday move that Ola Electric had, 4.13% higher. Two beneficiaries of an ONGC order, Deep Industries and RBM Infra, and those stocks had a good move in trade today. And like I said, Gujarat Fluorochem with the 5% up move had a very strong up move too. So those are a few names that really stood out in the session today at the mid-cap end of the market. But largely a day that belonged to the large cap gainers, particularly led by the private banks.
All right, Neeraj, thank you very much for that. Now, the 54th GST Council meeting is underway. The Council is expected to deliberate on a host of issues, including taxation of insurance premiums, suggestions on rate rationalization, and a status report on online gaming. Rishabh, in fact, is joining us live for more on this. Hi, Rishabh. Rishabh, we've been hearing a lot since the morning of what's been going on inside the meeting. But give us, when do we expect it to get over? And B, what's been going on inside? What are you hearing?
Right, Nupur, we're at the Sushma Swaraj Bhavan, where since 11 a.m. state finance ministers and representatives have converged and are deliberating over a host of issues. Some of them we got to speak to the Uttarakhand Finance Minister Premchand Agarwal, and he actually told us that helicopter services, and this was a request from his state, given that a lot of pilgrims actually use helicopters to go for the Char Dham Yatra, which which is sort of at Kedarnath and Badrinath, where a lot of people use helicopters to travel. The GST on that has been proposed to cut from 18% to 5%. He said that the proposal has been accepted. Now, this is according to the finance minister. We'll wait for the press conference later in the day to understand what exactly the fitment committee has actually suggested on this. He also said that the second sort of big announcement coming through is on the research grants bit. He said that GST has been exempted on universities that are looking to raise grants, funds for research grants from private entities. So that has been allowed as well. Another very pressing issue, rather two very pressing issues were the health and life insurance premium GSTs, as well as the other one was on the online transactions below 2,000%, the GST to be imposed on that. These two, we're still awaiting to hear on these, and these will be sort of what the hot bone of contention is. This is expected to get over post 5 p.m. Till then, we will track it from here, hoping to speak to more state finance ministers and more on this post 5 p.m.
All right, Rishabh, thank you very much for joining us on that. Now, Uttarakhand's Finance Minister Prem Chand Agarwal, in fact, spoke to the media after he attended the GST meeting. He said that the government may cut GST on helicopter services used by devotees to visit Kedarnath and Badrinath.
जो हेलीकॉप्टर सेवा हमारे यहाँ जैसे बद्रीनाथ, केदारनाथ या अन्य जो हमारे तीर्थ स्थल हैं या धार्मिक स्थल हैं या हमारे धाम जिनको हम बोलते हैं, उसके ऊपर जो जीएसटी है वो 5% का जो हमारा सुझाव था उसको मान लिया गया है। और उम्मीद कर रहा हूँ कि वो जब नोटिफिकेशन जारी होगा तो हमारे जितने भी श्रद्धालु हैं आने वाले, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ आप जानते हैं 4 धाम यात्रा में बहुत सारे लोग आते हैं, तो स्वाभाविक रूप से उनको एक इससे लाभ होगा। और हमारा जो मंतव्य है यानी उत्तराखंड का या हमारा माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का, वो इसमें आज निर्णय हुआ है।
Now, there is a lot of expectation that GST on health insurance might be reduced. In fact, we spoke to Abhishek Rastogi, he's the founder of Rastogi Chambers earlier, and he said that they were hopeful.
State's recommendation will be very critical here because state is a predominant stakeholder as well as far as the revenue is concerned. So I think the benefit will come, but it may come with some caveats. For instance, it may come for only certain categories of insurance policies. It could come based on age criteria. For instance, if we talk about the insurance policies, and these are health insurance policies, so if you are over 60 years of age, premium may be exempted. Things like that can come up in the meeting, and those could be implemented immediately, and there could be deliberations on the other aspects as well.
Now, according to a report by Informa Connect Academy, billionaires Elon Musk and Gautam Adani are poised to make history as the world's first 2 trillionaires. In fact, NDTV Profits Malika Mishra has more on this. Hi, Malika. That's an interesting story that we are picking up on. Tell us more.
Well, guess who's going to be the first Indian trillionaire very soon? It is the founder and chairman of the Adani conglomerate, Gautam Adani. With a net worth of $84 billion and a competitive growth rate of 122.86%, the second highest in the world, Gautam Adani is set to become the first Indian trillionaire by 2028. This is just in 4 years from now. But before him, there is another business tycoon, the man behind SpaceX, Tesla, the social media app X, OpenAI and Neuralink, among many others. I'm talking about Elon Musk. The 52-year-old businessman will be the wealthiest trillionaire by 2027, 1 year before Gautam Adani, with a gigantic net worth of $1,195 billion and a rapid growth rate of 109.88%. However, the list compiled by Informa Connect includes 2 Indians in the top 10. The other Indian named mentioned is of the chairman and managing director of Reliance Industries, Mukesh Ambani, at the 8th place in the list. He has a net worth of $116 billion with an estimated growth rate of 28.25%. He is expected to become a trillionaire by 2033 in the next 9 years. The billionaire to trillionaire segment of the report also highlighted many other interesting names like Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, who stood third with a net worth of $77 billion and a growth rate of 111.88%. He is set to enter the $1 trillion club in the next 4 years as well. along with Gautam Adani, of course. Then there was a mention of Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Facebook, at the 6th place. He's expected to take 6 more years to become a trillionaire. On the other hand, Jeff Bezos, who is currently the world's 2nd richest billionaire as per Bloomberg Billionaires Index, is expected to take a rather longer time, 12 years, to hit the $1 trillion mark.
All right, Malika, thank you very much for joining us with those details. Now, moving on to the IPO space, Bajaj Housing Finance's IPO has been fully subscribed on the first day itself. Now, it's said to have been the biggest IPO in the housing finance market, and Subhana Sheikh is bringing us more details on this. Subhana, take us through what you're picking up. Of course, what we're seeing is very interesting there.
Yes, Bajaj Housing Finance's IPO worth 6,560 crore rupees was fully subscribed on the first day of its bidding today. Now, at the end of market hours today, non-institutional investors bid more than twice the shares that was reserved for them at over 3 times, and followed by retail investors at 1.23 times. The portion for qualified institutional buyers saw a subscription of over 8 crore shares out of 17 crore shares reserved for them. Ahead of its issue opening, the housing financier already raised over 1,700 crores through an anchor book, which included anchor investments such as the government of Singapore, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, HSBC, Invesco, Fidelity, and Nomura, among others. Now, these shares are being offered at 66 to 70 rupees at that band, and the IPO will close on Wednesday. Now, this IPO by Bajaj Group has come to the primary market after 30 years. And with this IPO, Bajaj Housing Finance will now become the most valuable listed home loan provider in the country. The company primarily focuses on providing mortgage loans to upper-end individuals and large-scale developers in the country. And it with its strong parentage by Bajaj Finance, it has an extensive branch network of 215 at the end of the June quarter. The 7-year-old housing finance company is also a non-deposit taking company in terms of its assets under management. It has the best asset quality amongst its peers in the industry.
Right. Thank you very much for joining us and bringing us all those details. Now, of course, apart from Bajaj Housing Finance, there are a few other IPOs expected this week. Now, Cross Limited, P.N. Gadgil Jewellers, and a trailer axle and suspension assembly manufacturer, along with Toll and Tire, Mahima, is joining us with more details of these IPOs.
Right, so 3 IPOs that should be on your radar, this week. First one, Cross Limited, where it's a leading manufacturer in terms of trailer axle and suspension. The IPO size is 500 crores and the price band is 228 to 240. Now, in terms of the subscription date, it started today, 9th of September, and will end on 11th of September. The lot size is 62, so minimum investment for a single lot stands at 14,880. Now, in terms of key details of the company, well, in terms of 2-year CAGR growth, revenue has grown by 28%, gross profit by 24%, EBITDA by 40%, and profits by 54%. The next one is also from the auto space, that is Toll and Tire. The IPO size is 230 crore. The price band is between 215 to 226. The subscription date, again, it started today and it will end on 11th of September. The minimum lot size is 66. So minimum investment here is 14,916. The next one is P.N. Gadgil Jewellers, which will open for subscription on 10th of September, that is tomorrow, and close on 12th of September. The IPO size is 1,100 crores and the price band is 456 to 480. The lot size is 31 and minimum investment is 14,880. Now, in terms of key details, it's the second largest organized jewelry player from Maharashtra. The company will add 12 new stores with this IPO funding, and the revenue has grown by 35% YOY, and EBITDA margins have doubled as compared to FY23. So these are some of the IPOs that will definitely be on the watch out for during this week.
All right, thank you very much for that. Now, let's in fact now focus on the auto space and road and transport. Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari has said that 40% of India's pollution is due to transport sector. Now, while addressing the 64th ACMA annual session, he urged car makers to give EV options to customers.
The 40% of the air pollution in the country is because of transport sector. I am the minister who is responsible for that. Is it good? Actually, I am really telling you, I never want to, actually in Delhi, every time infection is there. And one of the important reasons is pollution. So the ethics, economy, ecology and environment. These three are the important three pillars of the society, and I feel that we need to protect our country from air pollution, water pollution and sound pollution. And that is the reason, first thing. So my suggestion is, now you understand the economics. I got opportunity to launch a CNG scooter of Bajaj. And Raju was telling me that if 1 kilometer in petrol, the cost is coming 2 rupees 25 paisa, and in 1 kilometer for CNG, if you are using, the cost is coming 1 rupee. So there is more than 50%, 60% saving in the fuel cost. Then consumer is going to take that. If you want to capture the market and increase your share, you have to give the option to the people.
Well, all right, the minister over there asking for people to adopt EVs. And in fact, at the same conference, the Union Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal said that India has to show the world that it is the one-stop shop for auto components.
You want to talk automobiles, you want anything related to the auto sector, one-stop shop, Bharat. And that's the story that has to go out to the world. And I'm really proud that ACMA has successfully put India's automobile sector, India's capabilities, India's competitiveness, our competitive advantages on the world map. You have very successfully taken Made in India to the rest of the world.
In fact, NDTV Profits Tushardeep Singh was present at ACMA's annual session, and he brings us exclusive interviews from the auto and auto ancillary space.
So exports for us at the auto component industry stands at about 21.2 billion. The rate of growth of export is higher than the rate of growth of import, so that's the good news. When we say make in India for India and the world, I think what we need to really focus on is on high levels of quality, high levels of skilling, and high levels of localization. We need to invest in R&D. We need to focus on design. And if we can put all this together, we're going to achieve what we set out to do.
In fact, let's also listen in to Nirmal Minda, who also was at the conference and spoke about it.
If our GDP continue to grow, our per capita income continue to grow, our road infrastructure, which is going very well, other the infrastructure, we have no limit to grow. Today we are 4 million. I foresee something around 10 million in 8 to 10 years.
Okay.
And about the two-wheeler, we are around 18 million, 19 million. China is 10 million, a crore. Then we will also grow maybe single digit this year, maybe little less, but continuous future growth will be there. As far as auto component industry in Uno Minda, we have a target to grow 1.5x, then the industry grow.
Okay.
And fortunately, we are in two-wheeler, car, as well as CV.
Now, in fact, the Minister of Steel and Heavy Industries, H.D. Kumaraswamy, has highlighted the impact of the FAME-2 scheme to promote adoption of EVs. He's also said that the rollout of the FAME-3 EV subsidy scheme is likely to take a couple of more months.
The impact of the FAME-2 scheme, which promotes the adoption of electric and hybrid vehicles to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. With a total budget of 11,500 crore, this initiative is driving the electrification of public transportation across India. Furthermore, the Electric Mobility Promotion Scheme, launched in March 2024, is providing an additional boost to the 2 and 3-wheeler EV segments with a 778 crore outlay. A key pillar of the government efforts is fostering innovation and technological advancement. The creation of technology innovation platforms is bringing together industry stakeholders, academic institutions, and research bodies to drive collaborative research and development.
Well, now here's an update from the aviation sector. SpiceJet has gained after it announced that the company had signed a deal to restructure debt worth $40 million with Carlyle Aviation. In fact, Aditya has more details on this. Aditya, give us more details in terms of how this deal is going to work and what is it that's in it for both companies?
Basically, SpiceJet's financial troubles have taken the center stage in the aviation space right now, and the existing lender, Carlyle Aviation, has come for its rescue. Carlyle Aviation is basically converting its part of debt into equity, and this part of conversion will result into the reduction of promoter stake in the SpiceJet. SpiceJet's promoter stake from 47% will come down to 45%, and in turn, Carlyle Aviation will also get nearly 4% stake in the airline right now. So what basically is going to happen after this restructuring is that SpiceJet is going to get around 336 crores from Carlyle Aviation, and the current debt, which is at 4,300 crore, will be reduced by the same amount. The airline is also looking forward to raise money from QIP and warrant issue to promoters. This money is going to be what the airline is telling right now. This amount is going to be somewhere close to 3,200 crores. So all in all, SpiceJet is making all the attempts to come out of the financial turbulence it's facing right now, and the issue is not so small that it's not impacting the customers as well, because customers are continuously being impacted and they are denied boarding at several airports, which has been a serious trouble in the past few months.
All right, Aditya, thank you very much for that. And the Civil Aviation Minister, Ram Mohan Naidu, in fact, has also weighed in on the ongoing crisis at SpiceJet. He said that the ministry is closely monitoring the situation.
SpiceJet को हम देख रहे हैं अपनी तरफ से भी, जो भी ये छोटे छोटे इश्यूज हो रहे हैं उनको भी हम सर्कुलर दे रहे हैं कि उसको ठीक करना चाहिए जल्दी से जल्दी जितना हो सके. तो हम भी कोऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि हमें भी ये जिस तरह से डिमांड है अपने देश में, हमें भी ज़्यादा एयरलाइंस को काम करने की ज़रूरत है. तो उस हिसाब से हम बैलेंस करते हुए चल रहे हैं कि जो समस्याएं उनको भी ठीक करें और जो एयरलाइंस है वो भी ठीक तरह चले.
Well, the minister also spoke about the rising airline ticket prices during the festival season. He said that the ministry is monitoring fares across all airline companies, while no airline will be forced to set a specific price limit. The minister did emphasize that companies have been instructed not to cause inconvenience to travelers.
हम ज़रूर एयरलाइंस वालों से बात कर रहे हैं, तो हमें वो सेंसिटिविटी को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं कि इस तरह के समय सब लोग अपने घर जाना चाहते हैं, सब लोग अच्छे तरीके से त्यौहार बनाना चाहते हैं. तो हमने या वेस्ट बंगाल हो या केरला हो, कहीं और भी कोई भी त्यौहार हो, हम लोगों की यही कोशिश रही है कि हम एयरलाइन वालों से बात करें, उनको ये सिचुएशन समझाएं कि इसका अब दुरुपयोग ना करें, अच्छी तरह से वो प्राइसेस सीमित रखकर उनको भी वो सुविधा दें. तो हम अपनी तरफ से जो चीजें करनी चाहिए वो सब करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं.
Now, the Supreme Court has directed doctors in the state of West Bengal who are abstaining from duties as part of protests over the rape murder at the RG Kar Medical College Hospital to immediately return to work. Now, the Supreme Court instructed the CBI to file fresh status report on the Kolkata rape murder case and also ordered the immediate removal of the victims' photos from social media. Now, the government has issued a directive over the Mpox outbreak and suggested screening, testing and contact tracing, of all suspected patients. Now, states have also been asked to identify hospitals to prep isolation facilities for treating suspected as well as confirmed cases. This comes after India reported its first suspected case of Mpox. In a statement, the Union Health Ministry has said that a young male patient has recently travelled from a country which is currently experiencing Mpox transmission. The samples from the patient are being tested to confirm the presence of Mpox, and NDTV's Tanushka Datta sent this report.
The World Health Organization had announced Mpox as a public health emergency on international concerns on 14th of August, and just yesterday India has had its first case of Mpox in the country. This patient flew in from another country into India and is currently under, investigation. The patient is reportedly to have the Mpox disease. However, it is not confirmed yet on what circumstances or what exactly is, this patient concerning at this point. With respect to this and with respect to concerns about Mpox, the Health Secretary, Apurva Chandra, has written out to states, and these guidelines are also on a separate portal that has been opened up for the Mpox disease to raise awareness and disseminate information about the disease. Now, what these guidelines state, and what we also need to understand, is the age range that in which this Mpox disease is generally, found in. It is generally found in males from 18 to 44 years of age.
Now, the Directorate of School Education in Manipur has announced the closure of all educational institutions, including government-run and supported private and central government-run schools on Monday and Tuesday. However, large groups of higher secondary students defied the government's order and dressed in their school uniforms, demanded a meeting with the governor. The Manipur police have also confirmed that 6 people were killed in fresh violence on Sunday in Jiribam district. The Assam Rifles has deployed anti-drone systems in Manipur to counter potential threats from unauthorized drones. The CRPF has tested an anti-drone system and has equipped the local forces with it. Well, that's all we have time for right now on Profit 360. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hello and welcome. You're watching the Smid Show here on NDTV Profit. I have with me Mahima Vachajani. With me is also Mihika Barve. And we have with us Rohan Shah, Director, Finance and Group CFO at Deep Industries. Now, very large order in comparison to their current order book of nearly 1250 crore. The new order is worth 1400 plus crore. So we're going to talk to Mr. Shah about this order. It's an interesting one. Now, roughly 3,000 crore in terms of market cap for viewer perspective, but a 1,400 crore new order win. Mr. Shah, talk to us about this order, what it entails, and how much revenue on an annualized basis is this likely to generate, because it's a 15-year tenured order. So talk us through a couple of those aspects.
Yeah, we are quite excited on winning this order from ONGC. So this particular contract is for production enhancement of their mature fields. So with this contract, ONGC wishes to increase their hydrocarbon production and to develop further their reserves. So this particular contract can increase the production of mature fields over a period of time. And in that, we can get our service revenue as a share of incremental production.
Right.
Yes, this contract is for almost 15 years, but we are quite confident that we can complete this contract well within time or even before the given timeline.
All right. And Mr. Shah, this is, the first production enhancement and contract that you have, in your basket. So I want to understand that, how do you plan to play this from a long-term perspective? Also, do you expect more such orders going forward?
Yes, so this is for the first time ONGC came up with a production enhancement contract, and this is first round with which ONGC has started this, and we are expecting a few more rounds coming from ONGC itself. And with other PSU clients also, they are coming up with such production enhancement contract. And we believe in this industry, since we are more than 3 decades old, we have a great advantage to get this type of contracts even in future.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Shah. Mihika this side. Since this is the first of the, first kind of, project enhancement operation orders, could you kind of give us a margin picture? Because, you do enjoy healthy margins in terms of your other segments. So, first margin profile of such orders, since you expect more to come by, and also the market opportunity in terms of size, if you have some estimate on that.
So margins would be again excellent in this production enhancement contract as well. So as you rightly said, we are operating on good EBITDA margin, more than 40% in our other verticals. And from this particular vertical also, we are expecting a good amount of margin going further. And with regards to opportunity, since it is the first contract we have received, though we were eyeing on this type of opportunities for since last 6-7 months, and we believe adding further such type of contracts will definitely help us in improving not only our top line but also our bottom line.
Okay, Mr. Shah, you suggested that the tenure, while it is 15 years, you're going to execute well within that tenure. What would that timeline be? Sub 10 years or maybe 10 to 12 odd years? Is that how this is expected to play out? And also, if I can understand, on this order alone, what would the incremental margin be like, and therefore will it impact your blended margin, your overall margin?
Yes, so as I said, we are quite confident to execute this contract well within this timeline of 15 years. So our expectation is to complete this contract in range of 10 years itself. And with regards to margin, it will definitely improve our overall margin.
Mr. Shah, so then we want to understand that in terms of quantification, where will your blended margin stand at with respect, in cumulation to this order? So by the end of FY25, first thing, and if you expect that, the timeline for execution of this will be 10 years, including this order, blended margins will stand at what percentage?
See, blended margin exactly would be difficult to quantify, but as I said, it will definitely improve our overall blended margin. And since we are confident that we can complete this contract well within timeline and even in time of 10 years, probably it will also add a great amount every year in our top line going further.
How quickly do you expect to start executing on this?
Right. So, as per our internal estimate, it will take 9 to 10 months to start revenue out of this particular contract. So we believe revenue from this particular contract will start from next financial year.
Mr. Shah, now in terms of your, overall order book, could you maybe give us a sense in terms of how you expect the entire order book to grow to, as well as the segments where you see, more orders coming in terms of your bidding pipeline? How does it look like right now?
Right. So at the end of Q1, our total order book was standing at around 1,250 crores.